Hello. Watch the whole video and, just maybe a penny will fall from the sky. I don't know, man. Um, what are we talking about today? Uh, is the destination a hero or a demon king? I'm sick right now. And if you watched the last video, you probably would have heard me coughing repeatedly over. So I've just been reading what I can when I can, and I feel like I'm really scrapping the bottom of the barrel. um, if you haven't seen these videos before, I'm going to give you a rating off the bat, and then I'm going to go into why I gave you that rating. Not really going to get in any specifics or anything. I mean, if you want to know more about a series, then just read it. I'm not here to replace the, actual series itself. I'm just here to give my rating of the series. For this one, like a 6. It's literally nothing special. Nothing. I would say the only reason I even give it a 6 is because there are moments where it goes, it's a little more, I don't want to say realistic, but just like, it hits some beats that I enjoy in an isekai that I feel like a lot of them don't hit. Those being, normally if a character is, killed off or whatever. Well, number one, they don't even try to do that. It's so uncommon. But realistically, in half the worlds you're going into where there's monsters around every corner, you would think people are going to get axed off. And this one does that. At times. Which I appreciate. Other than that, I guess... I don't know. Well, let's get into the gist. What's the gist? This guy's the main character. He was reincarnated into this world. He was like a salary man because that's like the most common occupation for getting isekai'd apparently. He was brought into this world. He, for some reason, requests to be like a kid again, basically, which I'm like, I don't really know why you'd want that. I feel like it'd be better to be like, I don't know, like 18 or something, but he's like, I want to be a young and, like a kid, and it's like, really? In like a super dangerous world, you want to start out like that? I don't know, man. Especially because it's not like, oh, he's reincarnated in this world as like a member of this world. Like, no, it's one of those stories where he's just brought there. So I'm like, that doesn't really seem like the best idea. Not going to lie. Just to the series, well, it has that trope of like, you get the skill board, they say like, oh, you don't get any new skills or whatever, and it's like, okay, yeah, but he gets the skill board that basically gives him access to every other thing in the freaking world, so who the hell cares? And then like, I don't know, it has like the whole god at the front, bringing him to this world. There's clearly like, I would say like evil intentions from that god, who's like trying to get rid of him, to say the least. I think like they're trying to screw the world up a little bit. He gets brought into that world by this god, goes about his own business, finds out about his skills. He's dropped off in like a really dangerous place. Finally makes it to a town. That's when he meets all these different characters. Every character in this series, other than the main character, is irrelevant. They are all nothing burgers. Basically, these characters over here are just kind of to get him introduced to some people in the world so he can actually do things rather than just walking around in the woods for, 5 years or whatever. This character's meant to be like a guild master of sorts who seems to kind of understand that he might be from a different world. Maybe not exactly that, but like has a clue that something's up. They allude to some things, which I kind of like. I like the idea that like it's not oh the hero's here to save us. It's kind of like, oh well, this seems fishy. In terms of protagonist names, listen, when I do these videos, a lot of the time I don't give the names of characters and things like that because who the hell cares? You're probably going to forget half of them because these are all so niche that who the hell cares? But they literally named him Loki, which I think is like the least creative thing ever. And then apparently the demon lord in that world is also named Loki. It's like, oh, I wonder what they're alluding to. I really wonder, huh? I really wonder. It's just like, come on. Um, I don't know. It's also like super game-like for him, but it's one of those situations, kind of like, I don't know what would be a good example, like solo leveling, I guess, where for the main character everything is kind of akin to a game, whereas everyone else it's not. Um, which is, I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's kind of like a cop-out kind of storytelling. And like, there's really nothing special going on in this series. He basically goes to town, they find out that he's super OP, he goes on quests, so he surprises people randomly. And like, there's some warm-hearted moments, like when he goes to get like a weapon at this one shop. We get a little bit of a background and like the shopkeep and how his son died and blah blah blah. But like, who cares? Like, I feel like the only character that even had some background, other than the main character, was that shopkeep that shows up like twice. So it's like, well, why? It's just one of those stories where like nothing happens ever. And when something does happen, you're just like, what? Why? Why did that even? What? The mayor is like weirdly suspicious, and he thinks he's suspicious, but he still goes along with him, which I think is like. I always hated that thought process of like, you know something's up, but you go anyway. It's like, does that make sense? Because like, I wouldn't do that. Again, like I said, these three over here are just like nothing characters that show up at the start, but then really do less and less as things progress. There's not really a lot of abilities in this story, which is like, you would think one of the main draws to one of these stories would be the abilities, right? But there's nothing in this. Like, the whole joke of the series is he doesn't have any abilities, he just has a skill board. So it's like, well then why would I read this? I feel like if you're going to read an isekai, you might as well read like one of the ones where it's actually like a fun ability or something, right? Why the hell would you read one where he just does a normal video game kind of progression? Super boring. What else is there? I guess like they'll periodically allude to how the main character has like tendencies to go a little bit over the top in terms of like gaming, which is fine, I guess, but like, again, who the hell cares? Plotline, I mean, it's just the most linear, just, you know, he starts here, he gets reincarnated, he goes to a town, does some quests, gains new abilities, keeps leveling up, and then, you know, once in a while there's a little bit of a conflict. Okay. It's super linear in this progression. If you've read one, you've read them all. And this, you know, is certainly one of that, you know, all category. Yeah, I don't know. There's really not much to say about this. It's boring isekai. The character does nothing. Not super well written in any way. The abilities are boring. It's just boring. Also the art's like weird. It's a very like unique art style. Like this cover art is the same as the actual story. Like it's just slightly weird to me. Which, I don't know. If you like how it stands out, then good for you. I don't really like it. Alright, let's just I'm dying, so let's do the SAE quick. What is the SAE? Well, it's story, art, enjoyment. Story-wise, it's just an isekai. 5. It's average. Literally nothing special. It doesn't do any groundbreaking things. Nothing new. Art-wise, I don't like it. 4. Enjoyment, I mean, if you have nothing better to do, like 5. So I guess overall rating, I actually rated it a little higher at the start, but I think a 5 is probably more reasonable. It's fine. It's not gonna hurt you to read, but I would never in a million years go out of my way to read this. It's not doing anything special. The abilities are boring. I'm not a fan of the art style. Character designs aren't special. Uh, there is nothing stand out about this series that would make me read it over anything else. If you're just going along, see it, and have literally nothing else to do, then I think fine, yeah, you can read it. But I would never in a million recommend this. Like, I think the story is just nothing. Like, who cares? Art, I think it's pretty like, it's subjective. I just don't really like it. You might like it. And then like total enjoyment. I mean, like, there's moments where I kind of enjoy it, but I'm also like isekai trash, so eh. What's there to say overall? I mean, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, the 5 is about where I'd place this. Alright, well, I think that's about it. I'd appreciate if you could like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah. Maybe leave another story you want me to read down below. Even if I've read it, hey, I'll read it again. I don't really care. I have nothing better to do. Yeah, I'll see ya.